Welcome to free online classes of physics with Lambo sir. So, 10th chapter from your syllabus electrostatics, and this chapter compulsory 5 marks and with option the chapter is for 7 marks. So, let us start discussion regarding the meaning of electrostatics. So, we know that physics has number of branches. Out of that, electrostatics is the one. So electrostatics is the branch of physics which deals with study of electric charges which are at rest. So when the charges are at rest, their study is performed in this branch called as electrostatics. So according to that, electrostatics can be defined like this: a branch of physics which deals with study of electric charges which are at rest. At the same time, it deals with study of forces between electric charges which are at rest. Now, this branch also deals with effect produced by electric charges at rest in the form of electric fields and electric potential. Such branch of physics is called as electrostatics. So electrostatics is dealing with study of electric charges at rest. That's why the name is given electrostatics. So statics means at rest. At rest, when charges are at rest, they produces electric field. Then their study comes under this branch, electrostatics. So this branch, electrostatics, deals with electric charges at rest, forces between that electric charges at rest, effect produced by electric charges at rest, and that effects are in the form of electric field and electric potential. Such branch of physics is electrostatics. So we want to discuss basic parts related to this electrostatics, in which first of all we will start our discussion regarding the frictional electricity. So before that, frictional electricity, we will find out from where the work of electricity has been started. Now, the credit of discovery of electricity goes to the scientist Thales of Miletus, one of the seven wise person in Greece, because the discovery of electricity begins in the Greece, and seven wise person out of that Thales was the one, and the credit of discovery of electricity goes to the Thales. So according to Thales, Thales discovered that there was a yellow substance which is called as amber. He discovered that when amber, which is yellow substance, yellow object, which is fossilized tree resin. Yellow object which is nothing but amber, called as fossilized tree tree resin. When that amber rubbed with wool, that amber acquires the property of attracting light objects such as piece of paper, peat or cork. So which the light objects are there, that light objects gets attracted towards amber. So what is that amber? We will see its photograph. See here. This one, this yellow object which is called as amber, and this amber is fossilized tree resin, and this amber when rubbed with this wool, this is the wool, when it is rubbed with this wool, this amber acquires the property of attracting light objects. In that light objects there will be pieces of papers, then the corks, peach, that will be get attracted towards this amber. So amber is nothing but yellow object, that is fossilized tree resin. Now the Greek word for amber, Greek word for amber is called as electron. And Greeks learned about charge by rubbing this amber. In Greece, the learning regarding the charge, electric charge, is done by rubbing the amber against wool. And that amber is called as fossilized tree resin. So this is how the Malus discovered the concept of electricity here uh, by rubbing amber against the wool. That time this amber acquires the property of attracting light objects, and this property of attracting light objects is called afterwards electricity or electric charge by Dr. William Gilbert. So near the end of 16th century, Dr. William Gilbert found that like amber, which is called as electra in Greek, there are several other substances which when rubbed with suitable substances exhibits the property of attracting light objects. So Dr. William Gilbert find out that not only amber, there are several other substances along with amber which when rubbed with suitable substances बरोबर त्या substances ना आपण ज्यावेळेला rub करू, that time that substances exhibits the property of attracting light objects like paper pieces, pitch, corks, and that several other substances along with the amber are glass rod is there, ebonite rod is there, several number of substances are there which when rubbed with suitable substances, that substances acquire the property, exhibits the property of attracting light objects. And this property so acquired by the bodies, the property of attracting light objects acquired by the bodies was called electricity or electric charge. Why that property is called as electricity or electric charge? Because this phenomena was first observed with amber. The property of attracting light objects, this phenomena was first observed with amber, and in Greek amber is called as electron. That's why Gilbert named this phenomena as electricity. So what is the reason that phenomena is called as electricity? Because the property of attracting light objects was first time observed with amber, and amber is called electron in Greek. That's why Dr. William Gilbert named this phenomena as electricity. He proposed that means Dr. William Gilbert proposed that a body upon rubbing, any body when it is rubbed with suitable substances becomes electrified or charged and acquires the property of attracting light objects. And when that body acquires the property of attracting light objects, then that body is said to be here electrified or charged. Such a body which is attracting light objects is also said to have acquired an electric charge. And the property of attracting light objects by a body is called as electricity. That's why the credit for discovery of electricity goes to Thales. And afterwards, the furthermore developments was brought by Dr. William Gilbert, and that phenomena of attracting light objects was called by Dr. William Gilbert as electricity, because this phenomena was first time observed with the amber, and that amber is called as electron in Greek. That's why Gilbert named this phenomena as electricity. Now we will learn about here frictional electricity to know basic about the electrostatics, because we want to discuss on electric charges. So before discussing electric charges, we will learn first frictional electricity. This frictional electricity is nothing but electricity developed on objects when they are rubbed with each other. As we know, amber rubbed with wool. Then electricity is developed on that amber. Electricity developed means property of attracting light objects is developed on that amber. And that property developed on that amber is called as electricity. So electricity developed on objects when they are rubbed with each other is called frictional electricity. So in order to explain this phenomena, frictional electricity, so many materials can be charged by rubbing against each other. I will give you examples. If we take the pair of glass rod and silk cloth, if we take a pair of ebonite rod and fur, when glass rod is rubbed with silk cloth, ebonite rod is rubbed with fur, and this amber is rubbed with wool. The same property of attracting light objects is acquired by that amber, glass rod and that ebonite rod also. So many materials are there which can be charged by rubbing against each other. Now let us try to understand what is an uncharged substance or uncharged body. See here, an uncharged body contains equal amount of positive charges and negative charges. Hence, it is electrically neutral. म्हणजे जी बॉडी अनचार्जड असेल त्या बॉडीजवळ इक्वल अमाउंट ऑफ पॉझिटिव्ह चार्जेस अँड इक्वल अमाउंट ऑफ निगेटिव्ह चार्जेस असणार आहे. Hence, the total charge on that body will be zero. That's why it is called electrically neutral. And if we take two such uncharged bodies and rub against each other, what will happen? We will explain here. See here, we have taken two uncharged body here, silk cloth and glass rod, uncharged, because the total positive charge and total negative charge are equal in amount. So total charge on this glass rod is 0 and total charge on this silk cloth is also 0. So both silk and glass rod are electrically neutral. Now, when two such uncharged bodies are rubbed with each other, so this glass rod, uncharged glass rod is rubbed with uncharged silk. What happens? Due to friction between them, some of the loosely bound electrons are transferred from one body to other. So if we perform the friction or rubbing between this glass rod, or this glass rod is rubbed with this silk cloth, what happens? Due to friction between them, some of the loosely bound electrons are transferred from one body to another body. And as the electrons are negatively charged particles, the body which gains electrons becomes negatively charged, and the body which loses electrons becomes the positively charged, which is explained in this diagram. See here is a glass rod and this one is the silk cloth, and this silk cloth is rubbed on this glass rod, and due to that there is a friction taking place between them. Due to that friction, some loosely bound electrons on glass rod is transferred to the silk. You can see here. So the electrons are transferred to the silk, and the silk which is gaining electron becomes negatively charged, and this glass rod which is losing electron becomes positively charged. So the body which gains electron is said to be negatively charged. In this diagram, the silk cloth is gaining electrons, that's why it becomes negatively charged. And the second body, which is a glass rod, it is losing the electrons, that's why that glass rod is said to be positively charged. So in this way, before rubbing, glass rod and silk both are uncharged, and after rubbing, both are acquiring charges. Silk cloth is acquiring negative charge and glass rod is acquiring positive charge. And this electricity developed on both silk cloth and glass rod, when they are rubbed against each other, this electricity is called as frictional electricity. So in this way, frictional electricity is the electricity developed on objects when they are rubbed against each other. And during that rubbing, due to friction between them, some loosely bound electrons on this glass rod is transferred to the silk cloth. And that's why both acquires the property of attracting light objects. That means both are electrified or both are charged. Now let us take few examples. See here. When glass rod is rubbed with silk, just we have explained now, or ebonite rod is rubbed with fur, the pair should be as it is: glass rod rubbed with silk or ebonite rod is rubbed with fur. Both exhibits the property of attracting light objects, means both are electrified or both are charged. See the diagram here. The same glass rod and silk cloth are rubbed against each other. Both are acquiring the charges. There is a transfer of electrons from glass rod to silk. So silk becomes negatively charged and glass rod becomes positively charged. Secondly, here this one is the ebonite rod, which is a hard rubber, and this ebonite rod is rubbed against the fur. Now in that rubbing, what is happening? The negatively charged electrons are transferred from the fur to ebonite rod. That's why ebonite rod gains the electrons, so it becomes negatively charged, and fur loses the electrons, that's why it becomes positively charged. You can see here, animal fur is here, ebonite rod is here, and ebonite rod is nothing but hard rubber. When this ebonite rod is rubbed against fur, there is a transfer of electrons from the fur to ebonite rod. So ebonite rod is gaining the electrons, becomes negatively charged, and fur loses the electrons, so it becomes positively charged, and both exhibits the property of attracting light objects. So in these examples, we say that both the rods, that means glass rod or ebonite rod, have acquired an electric charge and they are electrified. Now, one special case I will explain here. If this glass rod is rubbed against silk cloth, it becomes positively charged. So what will happen when this glass rod is rubbed against fur? So what will happen is that when this glass rod is rubbed against fur, it will becomes negatively charged. See here, a glass rod becomes positively charged when rubbed with silk, as it is this diagram explains. But if this glass rod is rubbed with fur, then it becomes negatively charged. This is a special feature between the glass rod and silk cloth and glass rod and fur. Now, it is also observed that in case of rubbing, few observations are there. Here we are taking two glass rods and two ebonite rods. That two glass rods are rubbing against the silk cloth and they are bringing close to each other and observing what is happening between them. At the same time, two ebonite rods are rubbed against the fur and then they are bringing close to each other, and then we will see what will happen between them. See here, the two glass rods, when rubbed with silk and brought close to each other, they repel each other. This is the observation. At the same time, two ebonite rods rubbed with fur and then they are bring close to each other, they repel against each other. Now, third observation is what? An ebonite rod rubbed with fur and glass rod rubbed with silk. And when that rod are brought close to each other, they attract each other, which is explained in this diagram. See here. These are the two glass rods. These are the two glass rods, and both the glass rods are rubbed with silk cloth. And when that glass rods are brought close to each other, they are repelling each other. You can see the forces. The force of repulsion between the two glass rods which are rubbed with silk cloth. In the second diagram, two ebonite rods are there, and that two ebonite rods are rubbed with the fur, and when they are brought close to each other, once again they are exerting force of repulsion on each other. Force of repulsion on each other. But in the third diagram, suspended is the glass rod, and this one is the ebonite rod. This glass rod is rubbed with silk, and this ebonite rod is rubbed with fur. And when these two rods are brought close to each other, what is happening here? Both are attracting each other. So what that observation shows, see here, this observation shows that the charge on glass rod must be of different nature from the charge on ebonite rod. And we are quite clear that glass rod rubbed with silk acquires positive charge. So these two glass rods are rubbed with silk cloth. That's why they have acquired positive charge. So the both are repelling each other. These two ebonite rods are rubbed against fur. So the ebonite rod have acquired negative charge. So repulsion between them. But in case of the third case, glass rod is rubbed against silk cloth. So glass rod acquires positive charge. And ebonite rod is rubbed against fur, so it acquires negative charge. That's why between positive and negative charge there is an attraction. So we can say that the nature of charge on glass rod must be different from the nature of charge on ebonite rod. So what we can conclude here from these observations, we can conclude that here like charges on glass rod, like charges on ebonite rod, they are repelling each other. So conclusion is that like charges repels each other, exert force of repulsion on each other. But in third case, unlike charges are there. On glass rod, positive charge. On ebonite rod, negative charge. So unlike charges are attracting each other. So conclusion is here, like charges repels each other and unlike charges attract each other. So this was the observations regarding frictional electricity. So let us learn few more examples explaining frictional electricity. So dear students, we know that during the winter season, especially during the winter season, a plastic comb is run fast through dry hair. Plastic comb is run fast through dry hair. We observe that this plastic comb acquires the property of attracting light pieces of paper. See here, in winter season, if a rubber comb or plastic comb is run fast through dry hair, the comb attracts the small pieces of paper, which is explained in this diagram. This one is the rubber comb, and this rubber comb is run fast through dry hair, and then that comb is brought close to the small pieces of paper. You can see here that small pieces of paper stuck with that rubber comb, and this is due to this rubber comb have acquired the property of attracting small pieces of paper, which is nothing but electricity. So we can say that this rubber comb is electrified or charged. That's why it is attracting such small paper pieces. So this was the first example explaining frictional electricity. Second example, see here, we sometimes experience a shock while getting up from a plastic chair and shaking hand with our friends. And that experience, I think, somewhat we have experienced anywhere. What is that example? We sometimes experience a shock while getting up from plastic chair and shaking hands with our friends. To explain this, the reason behind this is nothing but frictional electricity. We can explain this phenomena with this video. See here. You can clearly see that this person is sitting on this chair and he has experiencing a severe shock. You can see the vibrations on his body. And that severe shock he experienced, see the action of these ladies. He's running away, seeing the shock get by this person. So this is nothing but best example of frictional electricity. We will explain why that person is getting shocked. See here. When that person or we sit on a plastic chair, the contact between us and that plastic chair generates negative charges on us. So when we are sitting on a plastic chair for a longer time, there is a contact between us, means our body, and plastic chair. And due to that contact, there will be a friction between us and the plastic chair. There will be the negative charges will be produced on our body. And these negative charges get attracted to a positive charges of our friend during the handshake. म्हणजे आपण ज्यावेळेला बराच वेळ प्लास्टिक चेअरवर बसू आणि त्यानंतर ज्यावेळेला प्लास्टिक चेअर मधून उठल्यानंतर आपण फ्रेंड्स बरोबर हँडशेक करायला जाऊ, त्यावेळेला आपल्या बॉडीवर जनरेट झालेले निगेटिव्ह चार्जेस आणि आपल्या फ्रेंडच्या बॉडीवरचे पॉझिटिव्ह चार्जेस दे विल बी अट्रॅक्टेड. And due to that attraction, the shock that we feel sometimes is the result of the quick movement of these electrons. Means we sit on the plastic chair, that's why electrons are generated on our body, and that electrons are quickly moving to our friend's body because on the friend's body there is a positive charge. So attracting between electrons and positive charge, and the quick movement of these electrons from our body to our friend's body results the shock that we are feeling here. The same thing is happening here. So this was the second example explaining frictional electricity. Now the third example, what it explained, we sometimes hear a cracking sound while taking out our sweater in winter. This experience is also during the winter season. When we wear our woolen sweater for a longer time, and when we take out that sweater, that time we hear a cracking sound. That is explained by everyone, I hope. So we will explain why it is happening. It happens because means cracking sound we hear while taking out our sweater in winter season because of electric charges produced due to friction between our body and sweater. Because long time that sweater is on our body, and during that there is a friction between the sweater and our body. Due to that, electric charges will be produced due to friction, and that electric charges gives us the sparking sound, cracking sound. So this was the third example of frictional electricity. Fourth one is the interesting. See here. We sometimes see the lightning striking during pre-monsoon weather. म्हणजे प्री मान्सून वेदर ज्यावेळेला स्टार्ट होईल, that time we see the lightning in the sky. And the best example explaining lightning in the sky is in front of you. See this video. You can see here. This is the pre-monsoon weather, and too much lightning in the sky is taking place here. And this lightning in the sky is the best example explaining frictional electricity. You can see the clouds are there. Clouds are gathered there. And due to that clouds, they are rubbing against each other. Clouds are rubbing against each other and friction is taking place between the clouds. And due to that, large electric charge like electrons are developed on the clouds. And this large amount of electric charge is flowing towards the ground. And due to that, we are we can see lightning in the sky. See here, the lightning that we see in the sky is due to the flow of large amount of electric charge towards the ground. The charge which is developed on the clouds due to friction. म्हणजे between that clouds there is a friction taking place, and that friction develops electric charges on the cloud. And developed electric charges, the large amount of electric charges are flowing towards the ground, and that flow of large amount of electric charges towards the ground results into sparking, lightning in the sky is the best example explaining frictional electricity. So in this way we understand what is frictional electricity and the examples explaining frictional electricity. Now let us shift towards next concept, which is electric charge. So dear students, the concept of electric charge was introduced by the American physicist Sir Benjamin Franklin. Sir Benjamin Franklin introduced the concept of positive charge as well as negative charge. So concept of positive and negative charge was introduced by Sir Benjamin Franklin, an American physicist. So there are two types of charges. According to Benjamin Franklin, there are two types of charges. See here, positive charge and negative charge. So what is that positive charge? See here, we know that during the rubbing between the glass rod and silk cloth, what is happening? The electrons are transferred from glass rod to silk cloth. That's why glass rod is becoming positively charged and silk cloth is becoming negatively charged. So the charge which is acquired by glass rod is called as a positive charge. See here, charge acquired by glass rod when it is rubbed with silk cloth is called as positive charge. Or positive charge can also define it as, why that glass rod is acquiring positive charge? Because that glass rod has loose electrons from it. So absence of electrons gives us positive charge. That's why positive charge can also define it as absence of electron is called as positive charge. Now the second type of charge is the negative charge. So we know that ebonite rod is rubbed with fur. When ebonite rod is rubbed with fur, there is a transfer of electrons from the fur to ebonite rod. That's why ebonite rod becomes negatively charged and fur becomes positively charged. So charge acquired by ebonite rod when it is rubbed with fur is called as a negative charge. See here, this is the definition of negative charge. Or we can say that presence of electron, because ebonite rod has received electrons, so it becomes negatively charged. So we can say that presence of electron is called a negative charge. So this is how Benjamin Franklin, which has introduced the two concepts, positive charge and negative charge. So let us go through one point. Atoms are electrically neutral. We want to explain this statement. So to explaining this, we know that any matter is made up of atoms. Any matter is made up of atoms, and that atoms are in turn consists of elementary particles. Protons are there, neutrons are there, and electrons are there. And these three elementary particles atom consist. Now, out of that, protons can be considered as positively charged particles. Electrons is considered as negatively charged particles, and neutrons does not acquire the charge. See here, proton is considered to be positively charged particles, electrons considered to be negatively charged particles, and the neutrons is electrically neutral. That means it has no charge. And in an atom, there is a nucleus, and this nucleus consists neutron and proton. That's why nucleus has positive charge. An atomic nucleus, which is made up of protons and neutrons, and hence it is positively charged. Now remains the negatively charged electrons here. And that negatively charged electrons surrounds around the nucleus, so as that atom becomes electrically neutral. See here, negatively charged electrons surrounds around the nucleus so as to make an atom electrically neutral. म्हणजे atom वर total electric charge 0 आहे. But inside the atom, charge on nucleus is positive, charge on electron is negative, but total charge of an atom is 0. Why? Because the negatively charged electrons inside that atom surrounds the nucleus so as to make an atom electrically neutral. So this way we can explain neutrality of atom. Atoms are electrically neutral. So let us shift towards the next concept of charging by conduction. When we can say there is a charging by conduction, there are two concepts. At the same time, we will explain concept of charging by induction. Before that, concept of charging by conduction. See here. Certain dissimilar substances, we can revise the pairs of the substances which are dissimilar. Amber and wool, or fur and umber. These are the two dissimilar substances. Or rubber comb and dry hair. These are also dissimilar substances. We can take glass rod and silk cloth. We can take ebonite rod and fur. These are the pairs of dissimilar substances. And when these dissimilar substances are rubbed against each other, glass rod rubbed against the silk cloth, due to friction, there is a transfer of loosely bound electrons from one body to another, making them charged. That we have explained. Just like rubbing of glass rod with silk cloth, transfer of electrons from glass rod to silk, making both glass rod and silk charged. As electrons are negatively charged particles, electrons are transferred, isn't it, from glass rod to silk. As electrons are negatively charged particles, the body gaining electrons becomes negatively charged, while the body losing electrons becomes positively charged. Just like the rubbing between glass rod and silk. Glass rod is losing electrons, that's why glass rod becomes positively charged, and silk cloth is gaining electrons, so silk cloth will become positively charged. And this type of charging, because both glass rod acquired positively charged, silk acquired negatively charged, we can say that both are charged or electrified. So this type of charging is called as charging by conduction. See here. This can be called charging by conduction, as charges are transferred from one body to another body, but that body should be dissimilar substances. Now, separation of charges can be done by three more ways. See here. Charges can be separated by other means also. not only rubbing process, charges can be separated. There are few more ways to separate the charges. First way is by chemical reaction which is taking place in the cells. We can separate the charges. The second way is convection which is taking place in the clouds. And third way of separating charges is the diffusion which is taking place in living cells. So these are the three ways to separate the charges. At the same time, rubbing between dissimilar substances is also one of the way to separate the charges. Now let us go through one diagram, and that diagram what explains us, we will find the answers. What is the question? What does the diagram below shows? First of all, go through that diagram. See here, four diagrams are there. Figure A, figure B, figure C and figure D. Four diagrams are there. And in each diagram, there are two conductors are there. So this one is the rod and this one is the disc-shaped conductor. Out of that, this rod is charged and this conductor is uncharged initially. This rod is charged, positively charged rod we have considered, and uncharged conductor we have considered. So what that figure B shows? Figure B shows that a positively charged conductor, or you can say this uncharged conductor, is brought near positively charged rod. Figure A shows, see here. Figure A shows that uncharged conductor, this one is the uncharged conductor, is brought near the positively charged rod. That time, what is happening? The nearer side of this uncharged conductor develops the charge opposite that on this charged rod. The rod is charged with positive charge. So the near side of this conductor develops negative charge. And the far side of this conductor develops the charge which is similar to that on charged rod. So this rod is charged with positive charge. So the far side of this conductor develops positive charge and the near side of this conductor develops negative charge. It is explained in figure A. So in figure A, what is happening? When uncharged conductor is brought near charged rod, that time near side of that uncharged conductor develops negative charge which is opposite to the charge on that rod, and the far side of that conductor develops similar charge as that on that charged rod, as shown in this diagram. Now what that figure B shows? In figure B, same uncharged conductor and charged rod is there, but difference is here. What is happening? What difference is here? This uncharged conductor is earth, connected to earth. See here, figure B shows that when uncharged conductor is connected to earth, or you can say earth, the positive charge here which is developed on far side of that conductor, the positive charge is neutralized by electron from the earth. That's why remaining only negative charge on that uncharged conductor. Figure B shows when uncharged conductor is earth, the positive charge is neutralized by electron from the earth. Now figure C, we will shift towards the figure C. Figure C what shows? The earthing is removed. Earthing is removed here. So figure C shows that when earthing is removed, negative charge still stays in conductor due to presence of positively charged rod. That means negatively charged are moving as per the presence of this charged rod. So in the influence of charged rod, these negative charges are there. But positive charges neutralized by electron from the earth when that uncharged conductor is connected to earth. And when that earthing is removed, as shown in the figure C, what is happening? Negative charge still stays in that conductor. Why? Due to positively charged rod. And we know that definitely there is an attraction between positive and negatively charges. Now the figure D. In figure D, this positively charged rod is moved away from the uncharged conductor. Then what is happening? Figure D shows that when this positively charged rod is removed, negative charge is distributed over the surface of conductor. Means this conductor gains negative charge all over its surface. So when this positively charged rod is removed away, then these negative charges are distributed over the surface of conductor. So this is what this diagram explains us. Now let us shift towards one more concept of charging by induction. As we have explained concept of charging by conduction. So concept of charging by conduction explains that when dissimilar substances are rubbed against each other, there is a transfer of electrons from one substance to another substance, and both the substance becomes electrified or charged. And this process is called charging by conduction. So what is now here charging by induction? So here we will go through one diagram. Once again, here this one is uncharged conductor and this is the charged rod. That rod is given positively charged. So what is happening in this diagram? See here. If an uncharged conductor, see here, this one is the uncharged conductor, is brought near a charged rod. This one is the charged rod, positively charged rod. What happens? The nearer side of that conductor, uncharged conductor ची ही जी nearer side आहे, that develops the charge which is opposite the charge on that rod, while the far side of this uncharged conductor develops the charge similar to the charge on that rod. It is happening here. So this process of charging is called as induction. So what is actually induction? When uncharged body is brought near a charged body, just like uncharged conductor is brought near this charged rod, then near side of that conductor acquires negative charge and the far side of that conductor acquires positive charge. And this is called charging by induction because initially the rod was charged and the conductor was uncharged. But when that conductor is brought near charged rod, that conductor also acquires the charges at its two ends. And this process of charging is called induction. Now we will try to explain why it is happening. See here. This happens because that means uncharged conductor acquires the charges because the electrons in conductor are free and can move easily in presence of charged rod. In this uncharged conductor, large number of electrons are there and that electrons are free to move. That's why that electrons can move easily in presence of charged rod. And due to that, it is happening. Now, a charged rod, this one is the charged rod can attract or repel the electrons in conductor depending upon whether the charge on rod is positive or negative respectively. As shown in this diagram, this rod is positively charged. That's why it is attracting the electrons in this conductor. So electrons develops closer side of this conductor. This is explained. And if this charged rod is negatively charged, if this rod is given negatively charged, then what will happen? The near side of that conductor develops positive charge. This is nothing but the charging by induction. So the charges, positive and negative charges in conductor are redistributed when charged conductor is brought near it. कोणताही चार्ज्ड कंडक्टर आपण अनचार्ज्ड कंडक्टरच्या जवळ आणू. जसं इथं आपण हा अनचार्ज्ड कंडक्टर आपण ह्या चार्ज्ड रॉडच्या जवळ घेऊन गेलो, त्यावेळी अनचार्ज्ड कंडक्टर मधील पॉझिटिव्ह चार्जेस आणि निगेटिव्ह चार्जेसचं redistribution and that charges are accumulated at the ends of conductor. Near end ला निगेटिव्ह चार्ज accumulate झाला आणि far end ला positive charge accumulate झाला. And this is nothing but charging of conductor by induction. So in induction there is no transfer of charges between charged rod and the uncharged conductor. Only redistribution of charges are there. The charges, or you can say positive and negative charges in an uncharged conductor redistributes and accumulates at the ends of that conductor. There is no transfer of charges from charged rod and the uncharged conductor. And as there is no transfer of charges from rod to conductor, what is happening? So when that charged rod, या डायग्राम मध्ये दाखवलेल्याप्रमाणे इथं आता charged rod आपल्याला दिसत नाही. When the charged rod is moved away from the conductor, what happens? The charges in the conductor are free again. The positive and negative charges in the conductor are free again. Once again, they are getting their original places. So this is how we can explain the concept of charging by induction. So what is the meaning of charging by induction? When uncharged body is brought near a charged rod, what is happening? The nearer side of that uncharged body develops negative charge and the far side of that conductor develops positive charge if the charge on that rod is positive. So this is how we can explain the concept of charging by induction. So with this we are ending this lecture.